Viognier, Roussan, Marsan, Cinsault, Mourvèdre, Carignan, Cunois. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are we talking about here? Stop for a second. Hey, welcome to the Wine Matrix. Joe and Mark here, and today we're talking about the Rhone Valley of France, of course, that is. The Rhone Valley in France is on the southeastern side of the country, and it runs north to south, split by the Rhone River, which empties into the Mediterranean. It is a lush area for growing many, many different types of grapes. As a matter of fact, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, one of the most famous wines coming from the area, is allowed up to 19 different grapes, red and white, to be blended together to make that composition of Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Today we're going to do quick fix Rhone Valley, talk to you about how to distinguish what we're dealing with here in the Rhone Valley. So the Rhone Valley is actually one region, but it's made up into two distinct different parts. We've got the northern Rhone and the southern Rhone. And the climates are different, the soils are different, the topography is very, very different. The grape varietals are different. The northern Rhone is very tight, very steep hills, very much up against the river, very highly trellised vineyards, and the grape of choice, or I should say the grape, is Syrah, S-Y-R-A-H. Most of our red wines, if not all of our red wines, are made from the Syrah grape as the base, if not in total, Syrah. When we move to the southern part of the Rhone Valley, it's much more rolling. It branches out over the landscape to the left, to the right side of the country, not as steeply raked, not as hilly, but a lot of stones. But we move into a different grape here as the primary grape, and that is going to be Grenache. So Syrah is the grape of the northern Rhone, and Grenache is the grape of the southern Rhone, both hardy red grapes. Now the Rhone Valley itself is actually made up of 91% of the wine that comes from that being red, 6% of it being rosé, and only 3% of it being white. So white is very, very limited, and most of the white comes from the northern part of the Rhone Valley. The Rhone Valley actually has been around for many, many, many decades. The Greeks originally planted in the Rhone Valley, followed by the Romans. And it's interesting because if you get around the northern and southern part of the Rhone, you'll find some unique Roman ruins. Whenever I think of Roman ruins, I always think of Rome. But it's surprising to see the amount of Roman ruins that have run all through the northern and southern part of the Rhone Valley. There's aqueducts, a number of places where they got their water from the hills. There's amphitheaters, and there's quite a bit of Roman ruins around the city, the largest city of Lyon. Lyon being the largest city in the Rhone Valley. It's also the gastronomic capital of France. Just about every imaginable protein can be found in and around Lyon. The French are very proud of Lyon and all that it has to offer to the world in terms of gastronomy. So you can imagine that there'd be lots of different grapes grown in the area and lots of different wines made in the area. Now the Northern Rhone, use case study and geography. You really need to know your geography to understand what we're dealing with here, because the wine bottles do not have the grape makeup on them. You won't find Syrah on the bottle. You won't find Grenache on the bottle. What you will, however, find are towns and communes and geographic areas called co-rotie, C-O-T-E-R-O-T-I-E. Co-rotie is a very, very important area in the Northern Rhone, and the red wines are made from Syrah, with the white wines being made from Viognier. As we move a little bit further south, you have Saint-Joseph, Crozes-Hermitage, a larger area, Hermitage, a much smaller area to Crozes-Hermitage. Cornas and Saint-Pierre is the areas that make up the majority of the northern Rhone. When we go into the southern Rhone, Grenache, of course, is the big primary grape here. We are looking at villages, communes, areas, Gigondas, Vaquera, and of course, Chateauneuf du Pape, one of the most famous wines coming out of the southern Rhone. Chateauneuf du Pape can actually be made up of 19 different grapes, with them being red grapes and with them being white grapes. There's also white Chateauneuf du Pape. If you've ever had that before, wow, it's absolutely delicious. Our white wines are primarily Grenache Blanc. You will find some Roussanne and some Marsanne and a little bit of Viognier. All grapes that just do so well in the Rhone Valley. As a matter of fact, my favorite white wine to drink during the cooler winter months happen to be our white wines from the Rhone Valley: Viognier, Marsanne, Roussanne. Just absolutely delicious wines. If you pick up a bottle that happens to say Cotes du Rhone, in theory, the grapes can come from anywhere in the Rhone Valley, both north and south. However, since only 5% of the grapes that are grown in the Rhone Valley come from the north, and since they're from the very expensive Syrah grape, we can conclude that your Cotes du Rhones are going to come from the south and be made from Grenache, which is much more predominant, much more widespread, much more available in abundance, and the production levels are so much higher than Syrah is in the north. It would make sense that our Cotes du Rhones are going to be made up from Grenache coming from the south. But you can't go wrong with Rhone Valley wines. They're absolutely stunning, both red and white. Great wines to have with an assortment of proteins: duck, venison, beef, lamb, you name it, it goes on and on and on. Chicken, hen, Cornish hens. We can do all kinds of things with Rhone Valley wines. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a snippet on the Rhone Valley. Thank you for joining us on the Wine Matrix, and thank you for being part of the Quick Fix Rhone Valley. We'll see you on our next episode.
Thanks for watching the Wine Matrix. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.